plays the cello, while the other plays an instrument called a kamancheh, which is an Iranian stringed instrument. And this morning, we are delighted to have both of the musicians with us. Shahriyar Jamshidi and Raphael Weinroth-Brwone are in the studio, and so is the music director of the Windsor Symphony, Robert Franz. Good morning to you all, and welcome.
Good morning, Tony. Good morning.
And let me just mention that we are live streaming right now on Facebook. So if you want to see what a Kamanche looks like, follow CBC Windsor on Facebook and tune in to our live stream. Shahriyar, I'd like to start with you. It's an unusual instrument. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah, you pronounce it correct.
Tell me about the origin of this.
Oh, pardon me.
Tell me about this instrument.
Oh, this instrument. Okay. This instrument is using about 1,000 years, and the first time the name just mentioned in a poem 1,000 years ago, and people say, okay, the age is 1,000, and now they use it in Central Asia, Azerbaijan, Armenia, part of the Turkey, and mostly in Iran.
And how does it compare to a cello in terms of how you play it?
Maybe size and different bow technique, because we use it, a simple bow, and yeah.
Raphael, what sort of drew you to this particular instrument? You're a cellist. What drew you to the Kamanche?
Well, I was fortunate to be exposed to it from a really young age because at home, especially my dad listened to a lot of Persian music, and we had a lot of CDs in the house, and we listened to it on campus radio. So I knew about it from a really young age, and I really liked it. And so when I found out about Shahriyar, I really wanted to get in touch and try playing together.
So you ended up as a duo.
Yeah.
How unusual is this little venture that you two have undertaken?
Kind of unusual, I think. I don't really know of another duo with this configuration, but also our duo shows are all improvised, so we basically just create everything from scratch, and we play programs of different lengths, and we've played in a wide variety of venues and contexts. So, yeah.
So how did you catch wind of these fellows, Robert Franz?
So I trolled them on the internet is actually what happened. I was curious because I love this concept of East meets West, and I'm constantly looking for ways to sort of think about music in a different way. And I literally typed in Middle Eastern Instruments Canada to see if I could find some Canadian artists who played Middle Eastern instruments that we could maybe sort of work with. And one of the names that popped up pretty high on the list was Kamancello, and they're from Toronto. And so I looked at their website and I listened to their music, and I thought, this is amazing stuff. It's really already sort of what I was thinking in terms of sort of combining Eastern and Western instruments. And I thought, this is one step there. So I just sent Raphael a note online just at the internet. And I said, hey, I'm Robert Franz. I conduct the Windsor Symphony, and I'm really interested in what you're doing. Have you ever done anything with orchestra? And so he wrote back and he goes, no, but I'd be interested in having a conversation. So we just went back and forth and finally came upon this idea that some of what they improvise, some of the music that they improvise could be more set and accompanied by the strings of the Windsor Symphony Orchestra. And then also what Raphael has done sections of music where we create sort of a background, if you will, and they improvise during that time. So it kind of goes back and forth between set music and improvised music. So Raphael created a piece called Convergence, which is 3 different sections, 3 different pieces, I think you would say.
Yeah.
That are all accompanied by the strings, and it's fascinating for us because there are a couple of things. One, there's some tuning differences, as you'll hear when the instruments play together. There's so I would say, and Raphael, you're better at describing this than I, but I would say from my perspective, what it feels like is that there's a sense with this music of exploring time, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a sort of a repetitive idea of the music, but the music changes little by little as it sort of moves on, and so you get this sense of almost meditative quality of sort of moving down the path in time. Is that?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I think the main idea was to capture all the elements of what we do in this context in a sort of a cohesive format. And but what's different for us is that we have elements that are scripted, which we've never done before, and we're alternating between the completely spontaneous and the rehearsed material. So so that's a new experience for us.
I want, if you'll forgive me, I want to go all the way back to first contact.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When he reaches out to you and suggests that
Yeah.
he might like you to play with the Windsor Symphony.
Yeah.
And you thought.
Of course, yeah. I mean, yeah, because as an artist, you have to evolve and you have to try new things. And if you say, no, I'm just going to stick to this one thing all the time, then you might miss out on developing and creating something greater and pushing yourself in new directions. And to be able to do something like that is a real honor for us. And, it helps us grow, and I think it helps, everybody to share, what we're all doing musically. So.
But you've never done it before.
No, that's why it's exciting, and that's why it's going to work.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
it's going to work. You're supremely
yeah.
confident. This. How did you prepare for this weekend?
Oh, it was a hard time for my instrument and myself. In my life, I haven't had this kind of orchestration, working with orchestra and with conductor. And yesterday I have a little bit difficulty. Okay, how can I fit with this orchestra? And the big things I think for this connection is the quarter tones.
Yeah.
We use it a lot in our culture, in our music, and when we Kamanche and cello play these quarter tones, and orchestra try to cover these quarter tones, and it's hard, it's hard to understand it, but you can feel it, and you're going to the area, you feel okay. I'm in a mountain, I'm in a west. And and I'm happy to bring a Kamanche to this orchestra and play these pieces. One I forgot to add something. The second piece is my piece, is just for Kamanche and very technical and hard for Kamanche. And if in the middle of the piece you stop, you can't continue the work. You should find your place. And that's it. And I'm happy with working with this orchestra too.
Well, you have your Kamanche, you have your cello, and they're not merely for decoration.
Yeah.
Would you favor us with a tune?
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about it before you begin to play, Raphael.
Well, generally we just establish some sort of an atmosphere, and then we just take it from there.
So it's
And,
entirely improvisational?
yeah, at least whenever we play just the two of us together, that's what we do.
So be it.
Yeah.
Shahriyar, Jamshidi, and Raphael weinroth-Brwone. Raphael on the cello and Shahriyar on the kamancheh. I understand that the three of you are headed into some schools today. Is that right, Robert?
The two of them are.
Oh, they
I'm
are.
actually
Okay.
rehearsing the orchestra all day today because
Oh,
we
so
have
you're-
other pieces on the program.
Yeah. Oh, so you have work to do.
I do have work
All
to do,
right.
but these guys have very graciously agreed to go and visit one of our schools here, and I'm really, I'm super thrilled with that. Part of what we do at the Windsor Symphony, in addition to our main stage concerts, is we do over 100 performances a year, not only on stage but throughout the community. And so, anytime we get the chance to bring artists into the schools, we do that.
And this is your first trip to Windsor.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. An entirely new experience for you both. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for bringing the instruments with you, and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Robert, thank you as always.
Thank you, and come see us this weekend.
Tickets still available?
They are. Saturday night at 8, windsorsymphony.com.
There you go. Robert Franz is the music director of the Windsor Symphony Orchestra. Shahriyar, Jamshidi, and Raphael weinroth-Brwone make up the musical duo Kamancello. The show is tomorrow night at the Capitol Theater. It is 8:23 on Windsor Morning. We have music here from Alan Doyle. This is called Close to the Sun.